Ransacked, a mecca for touring cars, hosted round number 4 of the season. The lights went out, or went green rather, and race 2 of the day was underway. Callum Thornton started pole position with the top 3 cars from race 1 being sent to the back. Everyone got round paddock okay until John Smith got spun in the Harlow Motorsport Renault. Up at Druids, round went the Vauxhall Cavalier, as off the road in big style went the Mondeo of Owen Potter, taking him out of the race and out of championship contention for the time being. Apart from that, everyone got round, well, the first sector okay, and Callum Thornton picked up the race lead in the Peugeot and went blasting off into the sunset as he went through McLaren and into clearways for the first time. Aaron McGrath and Chris Wilkes chased him down the 2 Mondeos, as behind there was a great scrap between the BMW of Raffle Hodgson and the lone Volvo of David Ryan, going side by side out of clearways and onto the pit straight. They went into Paddock Hill Bend, everything looked good, and it remained so good for a number of laps. A bit of a broadside moment there as they saw the stranded Rowan O'Brien machine in the gravel trap on the privateer Vauxhall Cavaliers. Raffle Hodgson tried to look round the outside of the Volvo in the BMW, but nothing was going to come of it at Druids, so he tried again at Graham Hill Bend. Got the nose on the inside of the Volvo, but the Volvo just had the run off the corner along the rumble strips heading down the Cooper Straight towards Surtees and McLaren. Further up, the Woodcock Peugeot was having issues with one of the Mondeos, which I believe may have been Aaron McGrath in car number 31. Looked down the inside of the Peugeot, but the Peugeot just had the legs going down Graham Hill and into Graham Hill Bend, and the Peugeot somewhat pulled away from the Fords. Further back, we had a collision between Chris Wilkes and David Ryan, with Wilkes being the second of the second Mondeo of the day to go off into the gravel trap at that particular location. I'm not sure David Ryan was particularly on his Christmas card lift after that. And then Raffle Hodgson had a huge moment going through Graham Hill Bend in the BMW, very nearly ending up in the tyre barrier. The Woodcock Peugeot, meanwhile, had found some friends to play with the shape of Cohen van den Bosch in the Peugeot. This was over second place. He tried to go around the outside of the Peugeot, just avoiding the rejoining Mondeo of Chris Wilkes, who had been sat there for a full lap, and got pushed off the road. Now, I wouldn't particularly annoy your manufacturer, because they do not take this nicely. Going down the Cooper Straight into McLaren, and Surtees obviously, and well, do you want proof why you don't annoy your manufacturer? There you go. As Cohen van den Bosch pushed the independent off the road, but therefore lost out himself. So unfortunately on that occasion it was independent 1, manufacturer 0, and that left the Peugeot open to the Mondeo of Aaron McGrath to go around the outside into a podium position and 3rd place, on the road to 16 points. Further back, David Ryan in the Volvo kept continuing to scrap on with Raffle Hodgson in the BMW, who nearly spun it again. The rear-wheel drive obviously been a bit evil, the first rear-wheel drive car to run this season and the only BMW to compete so far, as part of the BMW manufacturer team. Further up then, Aaron McGrath and Kevin van den Bosch continued their scrap over what I believe was 3rd place. But off the road went the Peugeot, and an uncharacteristic mistake from Kevin let Aaron McGrath through, and the Volvo of David Ryan also went through. But in Druids, David Ryan outbraked himself, and off into the gravel went the Volvo for his 2nd off in as many meetings. Not quite as damaging though as the Crossdown outing a couple of weeks ago. Further back in the order, we had a couple of lap down cars battling, the Cavalier of Ben Simpson and the Renault and John Smith. A bit of a nudge going through Graham Hill Bend there, but that was nothing compared to what normal touring cars is. They had the 2nd place car, Shane Wills, behind them in the Woodcock Peugeot. The car that had obviously picked a fight with his bigger brother earlier on and had actually won it, which was a big surprise. Coming through clearways, there was no sign of the 2 back markers moving out the way of the race of the 2nd place driver. But really, why should they? They were battling. The blue flags were indeed being displayed to the drivers, but there wasn't a huge amount of courtesy being paid, and that was proved when John Smith decided to lean the Peugeot towards the infield at paddock. Eventually the Renault did run wide to let the 2nd place car go through, but the Cavalier still acting as a roadblock for a number of laps. Up front, Callum Thornton was your race leader, and was actually coming in on the checkered flag. Down it went, making another Peugeot victory and putting them to the top of the manufacturer standings. The Woodcock Peugeot came home second place with Shane Mums at the wheel to get second place in the independent standings, and our McGrath Headlights Ablaze got third